The Minecraft world is full of different interesting structures that you can explore, but some structures are incredibly rare and even unknown to the player base. In this video, I'll be showing you all the rarest structures in the game you've probably never heard of. Of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more videos like this one. You can also follow me on TikTok for more videos there. For our first structure, we're going to need to head pretty deep underground, but not too deep though. This structure is usually obscured under years of rock, and you've probably walked by it in a cave multiple times without ever realizing. You might have never even seen it before. The diamond fossil is one of the craziest structures in the entire game. They're quite similar to common fossils that you can find closer to the surface. However, diamond fossils are found much deeper and are usually covered by a ton of blocks, which makes them much harder to find. And of course, they're laced with multiple shiny diamond ore blocks. I personally have found 15 or more diamond ore sometimes on these fossils, and the biggest fossils you can find can be up to 121 blocks big in total. How do you find these incredible structures though? Well, first of all, you need to make sure you're actually in a biome that spawns one. These structures only spawn in swamps, mangrove swamps, and deserts, so make sure you're in one of these three biomes if you're trying to find one. From here, searching underground anywhere between layer -8 and layer -64 gives you a good chance of finding a diamond fossil. I would mainly recommend looking in caves. Although I did say most of the fossils are completely hidden by blocks, they can occasionally spawn in caves, and it's way easier to explore a cave than to try to dig in some random spot in the wall trying to find a diamond fossil. These bad boys only generate in 1 out of every 64 chunks, so it could be a while until you find one, but if you persist, it is possible. The next structure on our list is located on the surface and is one of the forgotten structures of the snowy tundra. Yes, I am talking about igloos. They seem pretty basic at first. It's just a naturally generated home abandoned by some unknown player. Inside, you have all the basic starting necessities, including a crafting table, furnace, and bed, etc. But if you think that's the entire extent of igloos, then you are completely mistaken, because if you break the carpeted floor of the igloo, there's a chance that a hidden trapdoor will generate. This trapdoor leads into a long ladder that will then lead you into this weird basement-like section of the igloo. In this basement, you can find a brewing stand containing a splash potion of weakness, as well as a chest containing some miscellaneous items along with a golden apple. The most interesting part about this basement though is the villager and zombie villager both trapped behind iron bars. This seems extremely weird at first, but looking at the sign and the items you have in your inventory, it becomes pretty clear what you're supposed to do. Yes, you can cure the zombie villager. It'll take a few minutes, but now you got 2 villagers, both for completely free, without having to visit any village. You can even breed these guys and take them back to your base if you want. The main question should be though, how do you find an igloo in the first place? Well, like I said, igloos spawn mainly in snowy biomes and snowy mountains. These should be the only places that you're searching, but honestly, the best way is to go into a regular snowy tundra and then simply turn up your render distance. Igloos are way easier to spot in this biome because of how flat it is, so I'd recommend to search here if you can. And before we continue, guys, I do have a Discord server as well, which is linked in the description. If you like my videos and want to come hang out with me and a few others, it is a great place to do so. Thank you so much. Now, of course, back to the video. Have you guys ever visited a village in Minecraft? I'm sure you have before. Villages are one of the most common and useful structures in the game. They are bustling and lively, with multiple villagers running around that you can trade with. Some villages though aren't as fortunate. Some villages were unfortunately destroyed and then forgotten. Abandoned villages or zombie villages are completely lifeless compared to their regular counterparts. Silent. Every house is unlit and covered in cobwebs. Even during broad daylight, exploring these things can be, well, unsettling to say the least. It also doesn't help that in these villages, zombie villagers spawn here in mass, all around the homes, and they will chase you around the village for as long as you're here. The only way to deal with them is to either kill them or lure them away into a roofed shelter and cure them back to normal, but that is easier said than done. All the loot of the village though, such as the blacksmith house and other chests, are still intact as well though, so there's actually a fair amount of value you can get from these structures. Now to find these things, they they generate in the same way as regular villages and in the same biomes. Honestly though, the best biomes to search are definitely plains, deserts, and tundras because of how open they are. Again, these abandoned villages are also unlit as well, which makes them pretty difficult to spot at night, so I'd say to only explore for these things during day hours. The following structure on our list was added to the game pretty recently, but there's still a large portion of the player base that has no idea about its existence. Trail ruins or archaeology sites just look like a pile of random junk. It's not though. These little guys contain multiple suspicious gravel blocks, and you can extract rare items from these blocks using a brush. This includes things like music discs, pottery shards, rare gems, etc. You also have to excavate the trail ruin to find all the suspicious blocks, because some of them are actually hidden under the structure. In fact, these things are way bigger than what you actually see on the surface because of all the stuff that they have hidden underneath. Some of them can even generate the full thing above ground, but that's extremely rare. Oh my god, is that a cross, guys? A cross in our world? You know exactly what this means. It's the hero of the brine. Shiver me timbers. Yeah, you know what? I'm out of here. To find trail ruins, you'll need to head to a forest, taiga, or jungle. Any sort of biome that falls under that branch is a solid place to look. Honestly, it might be easier though if you stay above the trees or use an elytra, that way you can more easily spot these things from above. Now, I'm sure many of you are well aware about abandoned mineshafts. They're actually a pretty common structure. You find them a lot in big caves especially, and they are the main source of inspiration for our next structure on the list. The Badlands mineshaft, also known as the gold mines by some people, are found only in the rare Badlands biome in Minecraft. This is one of the most interesting and also visually striking biomes in the game, and gold mines are the only structure that spawn within them. Now, gold mines are quite similar to regular mineshafts in terms of design, like they have the same winding tunnels and arches. However, there are a few key differences. First of all, gold mines are found way closer to the surface. If you manage to find a Badlands biome, which is the hardest part of finding the structure, then spotting one becomes pretty easy. And while just like regular mineshafts, these gold mines do house cave spider spawners as well as loot chests, they also of course have a boatload of gold ore. If you're looking to get a ton of gold besides a gold farm or bastion, this is definitely the best way in the game to do so. Gold ore is pretty much the only ore that spawns in these things and in the caves that generate in the Badlands. Now, to get to the Badlands itself, this is a warm biome and generates more commonly near biomes like deserts and savannas, so I would recommend exploring the edges of those biomes to try to find one of these biomes. The good thing is, because of the color, you definitely won't miss one when you see it. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have not seen this next structure in like 5 years. Witch huts are a strange little structure that generates only in swamp biomes. They honestly don't have that much to them, which is probably why they're so unknown, but there is some interesting stuff which we'll go over. These structures usually spawn with a witch and black cat either inside or around the area. Of course, the witch will attack you and be annoying, so always kill her immediately. And the cat is quite useful if you're trying to get that one achievement for getting all the cats in the game, since the only other time black cats spawn is during a full moon in villages, which is definitely not something that happens every day. Besides that, you'll also find a crafting table, a mushroom in a pot, and a cauldron as well. In Java Edition, the cauldron is always empty, but in Bedrock, you can actually find random potion liquid inside these. These can be pretty much any potion in the game. And while I'm sure many of you are familiar with Woodland mansions and their rarity, they are one of the rarest structures in the game. Nobody really talks about the rare secret rooms that you can find in these things. Some of them can be considered their own structures by themselves, and a lot of these are completely unknown to the player base. For example, have you guys ever seen this lava room or this giant obsidian diamond? Both of these secret rooms also have a hidden diamond block inside, by the way. What about the fake end portal room or the attic? I could go on and on, honestly. The only way you can find these hidden rooms in the mansion is by digging through the walls of other rooms and hoping for the best. There are a few indicators though, like gaps between rooms. If there's a large gap between two rooms in the mansion, it's quite likely that there's a secret room within. And another way to look for secret rooms is by decimating the roof of the mansion. This is only useful for finding secret rooms on the third floor though. If there's a secret on the first or second floor, you will not be able to find it like this. If you guys did enjoy this video, then please consider dropping a like and a sub. Again, you can also join my Discord server like I mentioned earlier if you want to come hang out. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.